Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Virginia Kilmore, and welcome to my studio. We're going to be making this lovely card that's very fast because it's Fast Card Friday, and I love it because it could either be masculine or feminine card. I tend to make a lot of feminine cards, so this is a great card for a guy, and I love the saying on it. So let's get started. So, isn't this pretty? I love this paper, and this is a really interesting folded card where you get to use the Designer Series paper, DSP as we like to call it, to sort of rock the inside of the card as well. It really came out super nice. I'm very happy with it. So let me just show you how to do this. I'm going to zoom out so you can see. I was not buying plaid tidings paper. I thought it was kind of ugly, the pictures I saw. But anyone who knows me knows I very quickly fall in love with stuff when I see what other people do with it. So to make this card, everything is listed here. Just in case I didn't mention it, I am Virginia Kilmore, and this is this month's code that'll help a hostess. And this is everything you'll need. We're going to start out with an actual 8.5 by 5.5 piece of cardstock and cut it down. And the reason I do this is because it's so confusing to cut the paper and know which way to fold it. If you do this, you'll lop off this piece. So it's actually 1/2 piece of cardstock, and you will lop off, let's see, a 5.5 piece. Because see, it's 5.5 this way. So it's 5.25, so it's actually 5.25. I'm making a mistake. I'm not even remembering my own directions. So all you have is approximately, I don't know, what would you say, 3/4 of an inch there to glue your paper on. And now you've got this scrap piece of paper for something else for later on. I am going to be bringing in a different piece of this paper, just so that you can see, and card works just as good with a different piece of paper, and it's because I'm following the rule of reading what colors, what coordinating colors go with it. On the package it says Basic Black, Cajun Craze, Cherry Cobbler, Cinnamon Cider, Mango Melody, Melon Mambo, and it goes on. There's quite a few colors, but first I'll show you all the different papers, and just imagine how many wonderful and different cards you could make. This is a 6x6 pack, so they're a little smaller, but oh, what pretty cards I see in the future with this pack. I can't wait. So that one I don't have a card for, just because there's so many different designs. So the hardest part about this is getting this nice and straight. So my trick for that would be to put a bead of glue right along here, line it up carefully, and then fold it over. And by a bead, I mean a very thin bead. You don't want a lot. Yesterday you saw how I struggled with that ornament. You don't need a ton of glue with a green glue. It spreads, and by using my bone folder, I've just made sure it stays folded and sort of put pressure on it. And my card is almost done. Look at how nice that is. I can open it up. It's got an interesting different pattern on the inside. And I love that about this paper. So I have so I can play around with it a little bit. So the next step is to make our sentiment and tie a ribbon. I think I'm going to set this aside. We're going to take a scrap piece of very vanilla paper. We are going to use this stamp set that I think I showed you earlier in the week. It's called Here's a Card. I love the sentiments in here. They're just so funny. One of the ones is that I love, I can't begin to count all the times we've laughed together. mostly because numbers are hard. So there you go. You got two sentiments, one that can go on the outside and one that can go on the inside. I'm going to use I Made You a Card because you're worth it. And I'm not going to put anything on the inside today just because we're trying to do a quick card. So I am using the coordinating Rich Razzleberry that we'll be using here. I use the same coordinating ink. And my biggest thing that I'm going to try to do is get a nice straight stamp. But if it's not exactly perfect when I go to punch it, I might be able to make some adjustments. Yep, it's crooked. But let's see if I can fix that. That's why I like to stamp first, punch second. Now I can line it up and get it straight, and it looks like I stamped perfectly straight. There you go. So I've got my sentiment. I'm going to use a strip of cardstock that's approximately 3 inches, and I didn't cut it, so I'm going to go ahead and cut that. This is scrap cardstock. I think it's 3/4, or is it a half? Let me see if I can tell you. It's 3/4 of an inch. And I could use my label punch to make a nice little end on it. I think I'm going to try that. I haven't done that. I may be sorry because I might get into trouble with how much I lop off. And maybe more than I want. Let's see. Oh, I got plenty. I love this punch that's called the flag punch. Yep, perfect. I didn't even put that in the list of things because I, at the last minute, decided I wanted to do that. And I'm going to go ahead and just glue that down. Center it. Now, if I make this for a guy, I probably don't want to put rhinestones on it. But if I was making it for someone else, I could. I'm going to be putting our leaves on, so I think I'll leave it be. But I'm going to go ahead and cut some leaves using our autumn punch pack. And this piece is a little small to cut, so I'm going to go ahead and cut a little less of the stem because we don't need the whole stem in there. I already lost the other piece that I cut. Well, we might only be doing one leaf because I cannot find a scrap piece. Oh, here's one. I'll punch it out. This one will be a whole one. There we go. Now I could also stamp with ink, but I'm just going to glue those on with a tiny bit of glue. And to give it a tossed look, I'm going to put one upside down and one right side up. That is a lot of glue. I don't know if you can see it. I'm going to hold it. I consider that a lot of glue. So I'm going to try to grab that from the middle so that it spreads and it doesn't go all over. And now I'm ready to put my card together. I'm going to put my ribbon on here, and this is our gold twine that comes with, I think it's spruce, shaded spruce ribbon as well. We have a lot of combo packs this year. Now, this one needs to go all the way around because there's no way to just attach it to the back. And I want to tie a bow, so I'm going to be using even more. So I like to first knot it off and then tie my bow. Some people will even notch their cardstock up there. I find that if you tie the bow with the end on here, you can save a little ribbon, and God forbid you should waste ribbon. You know me and wasting stuff. And then to keep it in place where I want it, I'm going to glue dot it. Let me see if I like this sentiment up this high. We can try that. Actually, that doesn't bother me at all. I kind of like it. So I think I'm going to leave it right there. I am going to use a glue dot. I just see that my finger got wet and I got a little bit of color on there. Well, we might have to put another leaf down there later on, or maybe I'll put some sparkle. That's what I'll do. Always detract people, or what do you call it? Oh my God, sometimes words just won't come. Does that happen to you? Distract, that was the word I was trying to come up with. Distract people, my God. It's really sad when that word is not able to come. Because it's plaid, you really want to be careful you got it nice and straight. And I am going to use a glue dot to make sure that bow doesn't move around. I did knot it. Now, this is how I would crunch it up a little bit, because we don't want it sticking out. The only hard part is getting it off your finger. Oh, I like that. It just sort of fell like that, and I kind of like it. And now I'm going to distract you from my big mistake with sequins. I think I'm going to use one of these nice red ones. These, I think, are called Artistry Blooms sequins, and I'm going to have to use a big fat one to distract you. And I'll use a little one over here. Usually my rule is 3, so guess what? We're going to put one more right there. I think I'm going to put a lighter one there, though. Those are all colors that are in there, and I have just taken my card up a notch by doing it that way. What do you think? That wasn't too long. Fast Card Friday. Always thinking of you. I hope you enjoyed this week's creations, and I'll see you next Monday. Thanks for watching. Have a great and safe weekend. Be careful. There's people with COVID out there. That's why I do this.